loaders and casters. Welcome to the Georgia Shooting Connection Friday Night live stream. We all hope you all had a good week. Week started out nice and cool here, but today got back up in the 90s again. So hope all y'all are ready for this, because I am totally unprepared this evening. I'll admit it. How was your week, CW?
Oh, we had good weather, boy. Nice and cool, low humidity, 60s overnight, 70s, 80s during the day at the highest. We had humidity overnight, but it wasn't awful because you're sleeping, But it was a really, really nice week. I don't know if you all heard, but NOE Bullet Molds is closing. They got a sale going on. He's retiring. He got nobody to buy it, nobody to give it to, so they're closing up shop. So I got an order in, and then I got another order in. So I got 3 molds coming. 2 of them arrived. Some other pieces, parts. It's I'm glad he can retire, but it's sorry to see it going. Yeah, there you go. They're some pretty good prices if you want some bullet molds.
30% off.
Yep. You can get an extra 10 with that with the rebate that's out there.
So you can get some pretty good prices. Code.
So did a little bit of shopping, did a little bit of selling, did a little bit of horse trading. Got some other things coming up, but you'll have to stick around to see what those are going to be. Mike, how was your week?
Oh man, this is a good week. It warmed up a bit today, but this week actually, but yeah, still no 100. Well, not over 100 real bad. So yeah, we're up there close to 100 here and there, but yeah, it's been tolerable. So yeah, if we can make this on through the rest of this month, we'll be doing good. Yep, just enjoying life. So Bama Dad, how you doing, buddy? How's your week?
Pretty good. Just glad to be among the living. It's the alternative. Nothing spectacular. How about you, Rebel?
Well, it's been cooler here this week. The lake water temperature is still in the mid 80s. So there ain't no use in fishing there unless you're doing it deep. I did get something for Andy as promised, as he made fun of me. I was making fun of him last week. As you can see, this is a toilet paper roll with toothpicks as a crosshair. There's no eye relief, Andy. You give me your address, I will send this to you, buddy. It will cost you nothing. I will make you more. I'm just picking on you, dude. I'm just picking on you. I am. I really am. And you can feel free to pick on me anytime you want to. But that's it. Walter, on to you.
Well, we've had an interesting week here. I was absent without leave last Friday night, as you guys know, but I had I'll say a higher calling. In other words, thou shalt take me out calling. So anyway, we did that. And about the same time, we had what's turned out to be a devastating fire going on here. Most of you probably already know about that. It's burned well over 100,000 acres now. Right close to me is where it started, within just 15 miles or so of my house. Fortunately, it's burning in the other direction. Fortunately for me, it's in real rugged country, mostly national forest, but a lot of ranch and grazing land. A lot of livestock has died. No human loss yet, but a lot of natural habitat and critters haven't been able to escape. So, as well as domestic livestock that are just burning up back there barbecue time. But other than that, I got some videos out this week. We got Moldy Monday still rolling along over there on the Rumble channel, and we got Wadcutter Wednesday hopping along real good. And CW CW was talking about NOE. I did pick up a mold from them on that sale too, along with their 30% off, and Full Lead Taco had a add-on discount, and so it came out to really almost nothing. Too good to pass up. Let's put it that way. And the mold I got, I'm gonna name it. It's a wad cutter for 45 Colt, but I'm gonna name it the 45 long shot because it's got a me plat that will even make CW happy. I mean, that sucker is almost a half inch across. It's a big old. It's got to be the mother of all 45 wad cutters, man. It's huge. 270 grain wad cutter for 45 Colt. I'd hardly wait.
I gotta do those. I gotta do that T-shirt. I love meat flats. I cannot lie.
I got to get out. I'm gonna try. I got some cast up today, in fact, and powder coated, and maybe I can get out and shoot them this coming week and see how they do. It's going to be an interesting one to work on a load for. It's a huge bullet for a wad cutter. But anyway, so yeah, we got that done, and we got some other things going on, and just other than the fire, weather's been good. You know, for me, right here close to the coast, we get this onshore flow that pushes everything away from us as far as smog and smoke and all that kind of stuff. So had a pretty good ash fall yesterday. Had to go take the leaf blower to the pickup that lives outside and blow the ash off because that stuff wipes out your paint real quick. But anyway, other than that, pretty darn good. Glad to be here as always. Hey, Texas 6, what's happening out your way?
Oh, not a whole lot. Just working. That's it. Put in a good 50-something hours this week, so got a lot of stuff done. Some side projects done too, so that's about it for me, really, other than putting up with the heat. It's hitting 100 degrees, so. What about you, Andy?
Well, it's been a busy week of work like usual. With that mold thing from NOE, I actually called him up, and he says, Andy, I made a mold for you, never bought it. I said, you never told me you made it. So it was for 223, steel mold, slick-sided. I think it's 62 grain in lead. It'll be like, I don't know, 33 grains or something in zinc. And I have a similar bullet in an aluminum mold that actually started dying on me, so I drilled it and made it slick slide, and it worked great. So now I have the steel version of it, so hopefully that's going to do my job. So that's about it.
All right. Hope all you guys out there in the side chat had a good week as well. Boom's killing me here, y'all. Absolutely killing me. Good to see Thor's Axe. Dave's out there. I had a good conversation with him earlier this week. You know, we're rolling on through August. Yesterday was Rigby's birthday, and
Oh boy.
she's having a party at McDonald's tomorrow. So if y'all around, drop by.
When's Grandpa's party?
I don't know nothing about that, brother.
There should be one coming.
You know, you get to a certain age, you rather not talk about it.
Well, your friends are going to remind you. Look, you all, Jamie's got a birthday coming pretty soon here, so you can all wish him happy birthday because it'll happen before we're here next. So happy birthday early, Jamie.
Well, thank you, sir. My mother-in-law's sick. She's real sick. I probably shouldn't be talking about that, but
We can go ahead and sing to you, Jamie, if you want us to.
no. Last time we did that was a catastrophe. But
It was.
I forgot who said we sound like a bunch of drunken Irishmen.
There you go.
Yeehaw!
Look at Walter.
You know, there's at least one show off in every crowd, and if you don't know who it is, guess what? It's probably you. But yeah, it's getting closer to football season, and it's getting closer to fall. And as fall approaches, my two favorite things are football and deer hunting. So I know we owe y'all an episode of revolver development, but I just didn't have it in me today. And I got the verse of the week ready, but I just couldn't make myself get research.
So we're gonna freestyle, right?
Yeah, well, yeah. Talk about the things that we do to get ready for deer hunting, if y'all want to, or what you got going on in your reloading room. What are you working on right now? So let's start with the deer hunting thing. What are you doing, CW?
Oh, this time of year we get the stands checked out a good month before the season starts. Make sure all our straps are good, everything is out there is good, everything cleaned up. Any limbs that are down or lines that are down for the shooting lanes and such, check all those out. Property lines, check all those. And then you shoot pretty much year round, so we don't really run to the range to final sight and anything, but it's starting to get the time where you want to check your zero on the main rifles and make sure you got ammo and all that good stuff. But sometimes we run out and we do the scents and the cover scents and all those things. We stock up on that stuff, but we haven't been doing that so much with the CWD, with the deer disease problems. They're cracking down on a lot of the scents. You can't use the real ones. You got to use synthetics, and they don't work the same. So pretty much it's only the scent-free soaps. Rely on that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I think right now it's still too hot for us to go be tromping through the woods and checking tree stands and stuff like that. I think right now most people, personally, I'm working on hunting loads, so trying to work up my loads to fine tune those in. Right.
By September, we got it all done because our deer season opens in September.
Ours does too. The archery season starts in the middle of September, and we would prefer to get that stuff done before the bow hunters are out there and disturbing them.
I like to stop. We stop chasing the coyotes. We stop getting in the woods a good month before the season starts. Not our season, but hunting season in general. So they get a good peace and quiet from anybody, or many of us in the woods before we actually get out there to hunt.
What about you, Hillbilly?
We'll be dragging the blinds out and going out and clearing trails, shooting trails, lanes and stuff here pretty soon. And then kind of get that kind of set in because I don't bow hunt as much anymore. My son-in-law still does. Well, two of my son-in-laws do, but just one of them's around here right now. And so we got some of that ready, for bow hunting too. And I'm, if I end up getting like a crossbow or something, I might go. But kind of just while everything's green and stuff, it's just easier to clip and trim, because you can see everything. You're not going to have one little bare limb sticking out somewhere from a bush. But definitely watching for snakes. All fellers doing all that. And then we'll be, zeroing in the rifles. This year will be the first year that me, my son-in-law, and my granddaughter will be all hunting suppressed this year. So that's going to be kind of exciting. And so,
Yeah, very cool. They don't let us do that in Connecticut.
yeah,
We can
I'm
have
real
them.
thankful
We can
that-
shoot them. We can't hunt them. Which is
Yeah,
silly, but that's the way it's written.
yeah, I still got to get a couple magazines. I think I only have one that's actual, the right amount, uh, for the magazine. So, and you would think the more bullets they hold, the more they cost. But you go down just to get like a 3 round or 4 round, they're even more money. So most of the time. So. But, yep, that's about it for me.
All right, this is what we're talking about. Glenn Davis, 357 maximum came in the other day. I have 100 pieces of brass came in. Also been prepping them. Bang, you're ready to make a load.
Very nice, Glenn.
Oh, Maxim is one of my favorites. Take a whole bunch of deer here with it. Looks
My
really
new
good.
my new favorite too.
Oh yeah, got to get that cast iron ready.
Toenail clippings.
Boomsticks.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, a lot of people. Glenn Davis getting ready for going to hunt with a recurve this year. Oh, receiver. I'm sorry. There he is. Sorry about my dad.
I don't know what happened. Power just glitched.
What about you, Rebel? What you got going on getting ready for the season, or what are you?
Yeah. Well, it's not that we coasted around too much deer territory while y'all were down here, but you've seen the territory. I can pull off of any field. I have permission to hunt and kill a deer at any certain time. So deer hunting's more like deer shooting around here. You can make it hunting if you want to, if you're hunting a giant buck, but me and my buddy, he decided he was tired of reloading for all his exotics and burning up the barrels on it. And he said, I've got a good old Remington 308 I've never loaded for. How about you? I said, I've got the same thing. He said, well, let's reload for good old 308, kill a deer with a 308. I was like, well, that's probably the best deer cartridge devised. And we both decided on 165 Sierra Game Changers if they shoot. And believe it or not, the game changer is got 20 points on the Sierra match key of the same weight.
They shoot great in my hammer. My hammer loves them.
Yeah. So I'm and none of my suppliers have them. I'm gonna have to buy them retail. No big deal, but I've already got a load. 44 to 44 and a half grains of any 10 powders will work. You just got to play with seating depth and neck tension. And I've got a set of Redding dies, and I went limped down to the reloading room, and for the third time since y'all been here, just to make sure Jamie didn't stick anything in his pocket. You know how them preachers are. I'm just kidding, Jamie. And I looked up, and I'm like, well, I got 6 of the 10 powders that I would use. And my buddy come back and he said, my best load with the lowest ES was varget. And I was like, man, I don't really want to burn my varget up on 308, but I'll load 20 rounds, for hunting season. I'll use 3 to sight the thing in, and I'll use 1 on deer, and yay, I'll be happy.
In
That's not that.
In case you all forgot, Roger wants to remind us all because nobody really knows that, so he reminds us.
Well, I
Oh,
was going to say that I have some. I bought 200 Sierra game changers, 140 grain for 270 Winchester. So I'm working that load up.
yeah, you don't hear too many people talking about those, and you don't see it much in the hunting magazines, but
That's what I've got in my 270.
they're too busy talking about other crap. But I mean, they've got really high BCs, and it's really slick bullet for what it is, And Sierra bullets are always pretty fantastic. I was listening to something, and somebody was talking about using a pro hunter. I was thinking about CW and myself, what we had discovered about the pro hunters in 300 blackout. And he said, yeah, I was really surprised I didn't get a lot of expansion out of that bullet. And it just went right through that deer. And I was thinking to myself, yeah, we found the same thing. That 30 cal pro hunter, at least in 125, it's a tough, it needs some velocity to mushroom big time. 300 blackout won't get it.
Even the hammer is it'll mushroom, but it needs 308.
Yeah, I was going to say that's a 308. And I have a customer that loads 125s, and he's 308 and hunts deer with them. I bet that's like a lightning bolt.
Sierra would be a good candidate.
He uses barns; they don't come apart, and they'll shoot through anything.
Yep.
We have a sighting.
We sure do. Are we ready? In 3, 2, 1. Hey!
Oh,
West Coast weirdo.
Mario.
Battle Bean himself.
His own self is here.
Hey, Kyle.
How's everybody doing? I'm sorry I'm late.
Good evening, Kyle.
Working on the mother-in-law's car.
Oh boy,
Fun.
Better do it right.
Yeah, that was the problem. They bought the wrong parts, and I'm trying to make it work and telling them that I can do it this way or I can do it the wrong way.
Don't be messing with them brakes now, buddy.
No, sir. But I made it.
Good to see you, brother.
Good to be seen, brother.
Tommy Boy Gene's been working hard in his tattoo business lately, and has just had a lot of commitments that he needs to get caught up on.
He's got a lot of hind ends to chap.
Yeah, Sierra Match Kings. I'm just popping in on the middle of this conversation. I'm sorry, but Sierra Match Kings are great in my 308.
Yeah, well,
175 range. Ooh.
that's what I was just saying. A game changer, like a 165 game changer compared to a 168 match king. The game changer's got 20 BC points on not that, let's face it, guys. I mean, BC really doesn't come into play unless you're hunting out where Walter is. You got maybe a 500-600 yard shot, but I wouldn't do that with a 308 anyway.
All day long.
It's well within its.
Feels
well
different
within
than
its hit.
critters.
Yeah, it's well within its hitting area, but it doesn't have the velocity to make the bullet do what it needs to do. You know.
Feels different than fur.
Yep, that's for sure. Thank you, CW. I just ain't gonna do that. So, but it's nice to know. I mean, the Game Changer's a newer bullet, while the Match King's iconic. You know, it's been there for a billion years.
My go-to still is the Hornady
SST.
SST or the STX 208 grain, which you will not find any loading data on that bullet.
No.
It is all my reloading data, and they are all very hot. But that's what my gun likes, and it really, really likes them. And so I'm gonna stick with it.
Yeah, I'm working up a load. Mock's out there.
Mock.
Mock, I ordered a jug of that 550.
Vitivory.
Midwest
Bob.
Midwest Powders 550. Similar to Winchester 760.
Ah.
And I'm hoping it's going to shoot in the 6.5 Creedmoor and the 270. They delivered it today, but I wasn't here at the time, so I have to bring it back.
Dang that pesky work schedule.
Yeah, right. It was a little different kind of day today.
Uncle Bob made it in, Jamie.
Uncle Bob, what's up, Uncle Bob? I've not seen a guy have more fun at the range than Uncle Bob.
No. It's like he had a Duracell in him.
Yeah.
That's interesting, Dave. But how do you know that, dude? How do y'all remember such crap?
I do.
Good to know, Tommy boy. I got some Magnum rifle primers. I'll try it with both.
Yeah, do the Magnum primer, Jamie. You're gonna throw a fireball.
Okay. And I do have some Winchester 760 over there too. But Mock gave me some of the 549, which is basically the same thing, just from a different batch, you know, a different lot. And the groups, he was shooting 1.1 MOA groups at 1,000 yards out of his Springfield and at dead zero. And his velocity, he was shooting 130 grain bullet. I shoot 140 grain bullet. So he had a good jump of velocity on my loads. My loads are H330, H4050. And that stuff is getting harder and harder to come by.
Yes, sir. I guarantee you at 1,000 yards, your 140 was retaining more velocity than his 130.
Mm-hmm.
Could be.
Guarantee it. Yeah. Unless you were using like a conical slug, which I doubt you were doing.
My go-to for 308 is 4064. I love it. My gun loves it.
Mine forever was Reloader 15, but Alliant powder's hard to get. So we're going to change it up on this one. Like I said, that's probably before you came on, Kyle. I really don't want to use my Varget. I've reserved that to feed my bench rest rifles, but I may give it a try just for 25 rounds or so, you know?
Yeah,
It'll
I've tried Varget, and I'm not really happy with it. Not with the bullets that I shoot.
My buddy got like a ES of 2 and 2 over 10 shots, and he just had one scraggly hole for 2 5-shot groups. So that's kind of hard to beat. Of course, that was his gun, and he's got a Remington Police Special. So while he's got the same 1 in 10 twist, he's got a longer throat. It's designed for 175 grain bullets as opposed to a regular 308 champion. He can't hit the lands with a 165, and I can easily hit the lands with my 165.
I mean, I'm not knocking Varget by any means, but I know bigger bore guns, I prefer, like Super Dave said, 40-64 or 48-95, depending on the caliber.
40-64, 48-95 was made for the 308, I believe.
No, 30-06.
Yeah, well, but it smiled when the 308 came along.
Well, you may be right on that.
And 40-64 works really good in it too, which is another good 30-06 powder. You know,
it is.
All right, it's time for us to call out side chat. What should we type in?
3006.
There you go.
I'm typing vicariously, 3006. I don't have a chat pulled up on my phone. I can't do it from the laptop. I don't know why, but
yeah, mine was Mark saying that his 130 grain bullets were at 1403 average at 1,000 yards. Mine was 1260.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. I figured you would. Were you using the same style bullet?
Oh no. Well, he was using ELD match, and I was using the Hornady bolt tail hollow point match.
Okay, he was using a slicker bullet. Yeah. All being the same, that 140 would have a higher BC. In theory, would retain more velocity. But
okay, here we go. So CW Longshot come up with the idea of typing 30-06 in. So obviously he was first. He's on the panel and in the side chat. So is Walter Viejo. So is Mike Hester. So is Texas 6. So is Andy 79Z28. And there's Crash, Red Raider Reloading, Mr. MCK Mock, Toenail Clippings, Good Evening Boom, Tactical Fud, Walks, Fletcher, Gizzard Gary, Tommy Boy, Bobby Barlow, Buzz T448, Alaska 1 Andy, Bama Dad is on the panel as well. Good to see Mr. Pollard's out there. Dale Pogue, Andre D'Angelo, Edward Petty, Bud with a Gun. Good to see you, Daniel. Ozzy Osborne, Red Raider Reloading, Reloader 762, Hillbilly Up is also on the panel. Mark says ELD match. Robert C. Nadeau. I hope I pronounced that right. Yeah, it was a fun time, Mark, no doubt. Dwayne 7834. Ron 2A Matters. Abigail, I can't say her name, Finnegan. Abigail Finnegan. 01 guy. And I think we're up to date. Welcome in, everybody. It's good to see y'all on a Friday night. We appreciate y'all choosing to spend some time with us. because your time is your most valued commodity. The Lord grants you a finite amount, and we don't know how much that is. So we appreciate all y'all hanging out with us. All right, Mock's getting ready to bug out of work early tonight. Look at that mess. So we're glad everybody's here. So we're talking about getting ready for deer season. What you doing in your reloading room? 6, we ain't heard from you tonight, man. You've been quiet over there.
Oh, it's right here.
I'm getting ready. I proofed out my 357 max load this past weekend, so I'm gonna get some of those loaded up, get ready. I want to take that hunting this year. I need to go back and make sure my 308 air rifle is sighted in now that I got a moderator on it. Gotta make sure of that. As far as the places to hunt, I'm lucky I don't have to do anything. I just show up.
That's about like
I put in a lot of work when my friend bought that place, helping him. I built all the towers, all the stands are sitting on, and a lot of the feed pins and stuff like that. So I just go up there and take a couple of those for them, keep everything in check for them.
fun times, man.
Yep. They finally got a settlement on that house after that tornado blew it down, and I'm not sure if they've started building a new one yet or not. But
that was their bunkhouse for their camp, wasn't it?
That was a house. I mean, that was a regular house.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Dang, man.
Yeah, I helped wire the house and do all kinds of stuff up there. So.
I remember seeing that video.
Yep.
That's been a while back, too.
Yeah, it took 2 years or something like that.
How long did it take the tornado?
Not long.
Yep. About 2 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
All right, this is what we like to see right here. We got a question from Bobby Barlow. Does a harder bullet increase pressure compared to a lower BHN? Bullet being the same weight. So 2 bullets of the identical design. One say 20, like rifle deer hunting hardness, 18 to 20, then another one being like 14, 12. Anybody got anything on that one?
Ooh. I don't even cast. I would say that the softer bullet would have the higher pressure because it's going to obturate better than the harder bullet. Now, I'll defer to CW.
Is that Arnold Horseshack?
But is the harder bullet harder to push down the barrel?
I wouldn't think so. You're not putting it. If you're pushing it down the barrel, you're not putting any pressure behind it. Think about the pressure. So the back of the bullet's swelling up. A softer bullet, the back of the bullet's going to engage the rifle. And that's my theory.
And in comes Walter. Let's hear it.
Dun, dun, dun.
What's the question?
Oh,
Jeez.
All right, I want to hear from Andy on this one too.
Yeah, he
yeah,
shoots hard.
Andy shoots zinc.
Well, zinc isn't as hard as jacketed.
Right.
And I did some stuff on Wednesday. Went down to get my book, but I didn't write down the powder loads. But what have I got here? My 3006 with a plinking load. Now this is zinc. It's 113 grains. Plinking load. We're talking 8 grains of powder. 2 5-shot groups. One averaged 2120 feet per second. The other averaged 2102 feet per second. Okay, that's what only 8 grains of powder. I don't remember the bullet. The Sierra, I want to say it's around 164, 165 grain. It's an old Sierra bullet, and it's not a full hunting load out of the same rifle. I only took 3 shots because I don't want to waste the loads. And it's really not a hot load. So I'd really have to go look in my other reloading book for the powder charge. But it would be 4064 would be what's in it. But it's nowhere near a full load. And that came out at the average of 2,549 from 3 shots. SD of 15. And so that's been my hunting load for years. And again, it's not hot, but it was accurate out to 800 yards when I used it. That's where I developed that load for. So that was good. And then you talk about zinc again. 40 grains zinc bullet, which is like a 64 grain maybe cast bullet, with only 4.8 grains of powder. And that's that Winchester powder I use. I'm averaging 1,860 feet per second with a little nothing charge. And a hot load, which would be of the same powder. And it's really not double the charge, but pretty damn close to, let's say, 16 grains, between 15 and 16 grains of that Winchester powder. The same bullet was coming out average 2945, and it's still not a hot load. So the zinc being is not as hard as copper and not definitely nowhere near as soft as lead. My lead bullets, they don't shoot worth a shit. In the 64 grain, the same bullet in lead, it won't group. Where these group, same bullet, just lighter in weight, but same physical size. So to me, I don't care how much that lead obturates in the barrel, it's not performing the same as something that's harder.
No, I would say that.
That would be my deduction based on what this rifle did.
In order to do that test, you'd have to have a bullet made of the same material, one softer, one harder, same shape, same powder charge. You
Here's
couldn't
what I
compare.
think.
You couldn't compare necessarily 10 to.
Well, I used to do that same bullet in lead, and I didn't have a chrono back then, and the pattern, the shot, the pattern at only at 50 yards was like, a silver dollar, with 1 3/4, 2 inches, and it was an erratic pattern. This same bullet in zinc, I can cover it with 1/4 with the same load. So,
well, your one in zinc is obviously getting more consistent, whatever, but we're talking about higher pressure, period. So, I still say you'd have to compare apples to apples, just me. But I mean, what do you think, Walter? Softer versus harder?
Here's what I've seen, and this is related to handguns only, not long guns, because that's what I shoot.
Yeah.
So what I see is that all things being equal, same cartridge, same powder charge, same primer, same handgun, whatever factor affects the friction of that bullet in the bore is going to affect pressure. And there's a couple things that can do that, and hardness is one of them. What I see is given 2 bullets that are treated the same as far as lubrication. I'll come back to that. The harder one is going to end up coming out faster, and the softer one is going to end up coming out slower. And the one that's coming out slower, to me, probably is building a little more pressure behind it, because it's simply because it's taken longer to get out the barrel, sitting on top of that powder burn. I noticed that my powder coated bullets, same bullet, same charge, same firearm, powder coated bullets exit the barrel faster than the same bullet traditionally lubed or tumble lubed. Okay, that powder coat is slicker, and so it's reducing the friction. It's got to be, because it's getting out of there faster. So I think, from what I see, a harder bullet actually probably doesn't engage the rifling the same way. I think you can make it fully engage the rifling, but I think that they tend to be a little slicker than a lead bullet, that's softer. So I'm sure there's correlation between the hardness of the bullet and the amount of pressure. And kind of the bottom line is if you're not sure, don't run those charges up to the maximum to find out.
Well, to add to that, what you're saying there, zinc is a lubricant. So
sure. Yeah, and so is the powder coat, or HTC. And so that stuff is really slippery, as is the surface of a well-cast zinc bullet. Those things are slicker and grease. Anyway, they're slick, and they're lightweight. And
well, I'm also comparing to what they found with like shooting a Barnes bullet, shooting an all copper bullet, and necessarily the pressure bands are cut in it to relieve pressure, so the bullet does obturate, because it's so hard it'll penetrate just about through anything. And they have
you got a lot of more bearing surface. You got a lot more bearing surface by copper bullet.
Tons more bearing surface. So there's a lot of things to consider there.
Bearing surface is a big deal. Our slick-sided bullets, they're all, the whole shank is bearing surface. And so
I know
we had
there too. We had one maker of
consider the pressure it started out at.
Right. We had one maker of 30
really light load. It's going to react differently with different hardness bullets than a heavier pressured load with various pressured bullets. It's not a curve. It's not a it's not a nice curve. It's a wacky thing.
Well,
we had one maker of bullets.
Would it be real easy to find out if you had a chronograph and you shot say you can get them in 9mm or whatever, but a lead 9mm bullet in the same way as a full metal jacket, because your full metal jacket's going to be harder than your lead bullet. Couldn't you just tell with the chronograph from that right there?
9mm. Then.
Well, it doesn't necessarily correlate to pressure. Pressure is speed. Higher pressure is speed, but not necessarily.
Anybody who's got a bullet stuck in the barrel knows how hard it is to get it out. But if you get a lead bullet stuck in the barrel, it's not so hard to get it out.
Well, that's what I was going to say. We had a maker of 30 cal bullets that they were all copper, and they were supposed to be subsonic, and they were very expensive, and I had a customer complain that they were not accurate. They were actually in a 1-in-8 to 1-in-7 twist. They were actually hitting the target sideways at 100, and we started testing them, and I sent some to a buddy, and they were just not you could tell they were not stable at 50. They were starting to get swipes, and he started playing with higher pressure powder, and he didn't want to post this on the internet, because somebody would blow themselves up. So he called me one day and said, I got the thing stabilized, and I used this powder load. And we started talking. I said, do you think it's pressure? He said, yeah. I said, let me call you back here in a little bit. And I made a jig, and I drilled out the back of the bullet and made a mini ball, pretty much. Made a hollow place in the back of the bullet and shot it, and they shot fine at 100 yards. I mean, they shot like a half-inch group, and with the same powder. So they were obturating, whereas before they weren't, because solid copper, like Andy said, that's hard as crap as far as bullets are concerned. And but these were obturating now because they had that little thin skirt to expand and hit the rifle. So we called the bullet maker and asked him if he could include this in his CNC process, and he did and had success. He had just sold a big military contract with that same bullet, so when we were reporting that they were unstable, he got a little nervous. Yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things that it needed more pressure than what you could give it with a conventional powder.
I have one interesting, because 9mm was brought up, and I thought I had a load, same weight bullet, okay? I have a 147 grain lead bullet now, and I'm loading it with that WSH powder, 4 grains. And I have the same bullet, slightly smaller meat plat, a full metal jacket in 147 grain with the same amount of powder. The lead came out at average 1,300. What am I looking at? 1,280 feet per second. The lead version, and the full metal jacket came out now the same powder charge, pretty much all the same dimensions. Okay, seating depth, things like that. Only came out at 1,100 feet per second. Same powder. It's pretty much the same. So the lead actually must have had higher pressure if it's coming out faster.
Yeah. So the softer would have more pressure, maybe.
Well,
in that situation.
but that's about a 16 BHN my cast loads. Added at out of the lead versus a full metal jacket. So in the conversation saying which is performing better as far as how much the lead's got to be expanding more than the full metal jacket, but it was coming out of the barrel faster, the lead. So that's an interesting one.
So you're getting into this ballistic stuff, and we're not ballisticians. Yeah,
but he just brought up the question, which is gonna, has higher pressure and whatnot. And all I'm just trying to relate to is pretty much the same bullet, same weight for sure. Lead versus full metal jacket, same charge of same powder, and the lead came out faster. Almost 200 feet per second faster.
Yeah. But Andy, that's not what I'm referring to. I'm talking about like Rebel drilling holes in the back of bullets and this kind of stuff, man. It's over my head. This is the cool thing, though, is I think I know as little as I know about it is that velocity is a result of pressure.
Yes, then sir.
Mathematics.
You've got that caveat of friction in there as well.
Yes, sir.
And I think Walter and Andy hit on that pretty good. So, but the key thing here in his question, I think he's referring to cast lead bullets, is BHN. So, Bobby Barlow, I hope we answered that question for you.
Made him wonder about it, that's for sure.
Hey, I'm sure he's more confused than he was, but
hey, listen, I love going down the hole to find a Jabberwocky. Okay, I mean, Alice in Wonderland. That's my gig, and I'll tell you, I got both volumes of Brian Litz's Applied Ballistics, but I'll call CW and another friend of mine in Montana and ask him about a particular bullet before I ever call Brian Litz, because he won't answer the phone because I didn't buy the T-shirt. You know.
Yeah, Tommy Boy's got a good point there. So drilling the base of the bullet changed the center of pressure.
Yeah, move it up forward a little bit.
Yeah.
I was just after obturation. That's an old trick. I mean, it's still used.
Ozzy's got a good point too. Barrel length will make a difference. But I really liked Walter's points on friction, and that kind of went hand in hand with what Andy was talking about as far as hardness, and I'll never argue with that. So if y'all think we beat that question severely to death, we've got another one. Crash says, in the panel's opinion, do any of you, I assume, think standard deviation and extreme spread truly correlate with accuracy? And Chad Hill asked that as well. And Walter Fletcher said he said yes. I'm going to chime in first on this one. And I'm going to say yes if the distance is far enough. You're shooting groups at 100 yards, it ain't going to make a whole lot of difference. But out past 500, 600 yards, like when we shoot at 1,000, yeah, it makes a difference.
Yeah, things really start happening out there past, say, 550, 600 yards. And if you're shooting at 50 yards, 100 yards, 150 yards, yeah, largely you can just overlook SD and ES. It's not going to be, night and day differences for you. We all know that the key to accuracy is consistency, and SD and ES are showing the consistency of your load. It's going to come to fruition out as distances increase and become more and more important. So the answer is yes, but
at most hunting distances, it's not going to matter.
Yeah, I'm just reviewing one of my tests that I did with my 300 blackout bolt action, shooting 113 grain zinc, which is basically 170 grain lead bullet, with 6.8 grains of Winchester WSH. And I have an extreme spread of 32, and that's 10 rounds, an average velocity of 1,621, but the SD is 11.8, and you could cover that at 50 yards with a nickel. So the SD may be what's making that whole thing work, to give me that kind of accuracy. But I didn't load it based on that. When I made these loads, I started off, let's say, at 6 grains to 7.2 grains, going up on 0.1 grain intervals. And that 6.8 was the node where was the closest group I had. That's how I made the load. I didn't base it on anything other than I wanted to be in that 1,600 feet, 1,550 to 1,650 velocity wise. And I shot at 50 yards looking for the node. And that's what I used for the accuracy level. Now, when I tested it with the chrono, that's when I discovered, extreme spread is nothing. And the SD of 11.8, I think, is outrageous. But it wasn't planned that way. It's not like I had some way to calculate it and just went for that. It was like 10 different loads. It was started and watched the group close as I shot. And that 6.8 grains was it. At 6.9, the group got bigger, or, by a little bit. And that's how I established that load. But the chrono numbers were unbelievable.
And of course, with that that ES, if you stretch that out to say 250 yards, you'd probably have a vertical string like that, which.
Well, I've shot it at 100, and I didn't have that issue at all.
Yeah,
it was, the group opened up to maybe, $50.
Yeah.
But I didn't test it with the chrono. And I didn't have any stringing.
Okay. Let me address this as Walter has a great video on extreme spread and standard deviation. So if you take 2 shots and your extreme spread is, like Andy was talking about, 32, 33, your standard deviation is right there, close to that number. The more shots you take and that extreme spread stays at 30 to 35, whatever, the smaller that standard deviation is going to go down. So it's a mathematical formula that's way beyond my pay grade. Okay, so we're going to crown CW with the right answer on this one. The answer is yes, but I like that. Okay, back to the comments. The previous question, I was a guy to, he says, I don't know, but if the bullet expands in the barrel, it would create more friction, which would slow it down. The point of a bullet obturating is to grab traction on the lands and grooves and impart the spin on the bullet and stabilize it going down range. And then the next comment I wanted to talk about. Papa's Place got a smoking deal on one of the new lead micrometer seating die for 6.5 Grendel. Looking forward to testing it against the standard seating die with the add-on micrometer. And he says it's similar to a Hornady seating dies.
Mm-hmm.
I've got some Hornady seating dies, and I put that micrometer. Let me tell you something, guys. That lead micrometer is a whole lot cheaper than the Hornady one, like half.
Or the devil in either one.
And for our buddy Hillbilly up there, does anybody shoot 6.8 blackout? He's got one on the way, and he's really excited about that.
Yeah, 8.6, but yeah.
8.6, yeah. I was like, what in the hell's a 6.8 blackout?
little dyslexia there. I got it too, buddy. No problem.
Well, I've heard it. I know exactly what 6.8 is.
That's 270.
I don't know what 8.6 is.
338.
Yeah. So these new cartridges, I'm sure they're good. The stuff that I have, I'm not finished working up loads and getting them to shoot the way I want them to. So it's kind of, there's one I might add later, 45 Colt, but and there's others, but I want what I have to work well. That's where I'm at right now. What do you guys think?
That's it. If it shoots the way you want it to, it's
That's
good
it.
enough.
Yeah.
And everybody's got their own standard. I mean, for their own hunt conditions or target conditions or whatever. So I try not to fault anybody for. It's just like Andy was talking about his load worked great at 50 yards. Well, if that's where you want to shoot and it works good enough for you to 50 and 100, fantastic, you know?
Yeah. I'm excited to see what you come up with on that 8.6 Hillbilly.
Well, so this is a 300 grain bullet that is spinning super fast. And
what is that, 1 point, what twist?
1.3, some of them are.
Yeah,
Yes,
1.3,
1
a
and
lot of
3.
them.
Yeah, stupid.
And I've literally seen this thing go through 2 ballistic gels end on end, and another probably 20 yards through a plate of steel. And I mean, it's
And
one
that's
of those,
subsonic, is it not?
yeah, it's one of those, FOF, type bullets. And the way I took it, like, it was designed for the military. They wanted something they could shoot out several hundred yards out, and even have a short barrel for close combat. And so, I mean, I want to do some more studying on it, but yeah, it just seems a 300 grain bullet that just don't care about nothing, and it's going to shoot flat and fast. So that was my interest in
Glenn Davis says, "You boys sure went down that rabbit hole."
it. Yeah, Eagle Run. Yeah, I've watched some of his videos. I'm gonna go over and check out a bunch more. He's been doing 8.6 for a while, and
Well, guys, before we get into something new, I'm going to get out of here. Everybody
Oh,
have a
come on, Andy. We just got into something new. Tommy Boy had a great question.
What? I missed it.
Given a 220 grain projectile on a 30 caliber, whatever, which bullet would become unstable at 1,050 yards? Lead or copper jacket?
Lead.
That's what I would have thought, but he's saying otherwise.
I would say jacket. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Say jacket.
220
Me too.
grain, 30 cal bullet. One is lead, one is copper. Which one is unstable? And a 10 twist barrel at 1,050 feet per second. So
Well, I
we're
thought he
still-
said a 10-inch barrel. My bad.
You said yards, Kyle. That's 1,050 feet per second.
okay. Andy, thank you for your input, man.
No problem. Yeah, I mean, he's talking about speed, feet per second.
Yeah.
I think
Apparently, I need to reread the question again because I missed the feet per second part.
Yeah.
the lead would be probably stabilized before the copper bullet.
Yep. I agree. 100%.
That's what I think.
I don't have my glasses on.
All right, I'm out of here, guys. Have a great weekend. We'll talk to you soon.
See ya, Andy.
Not
Take it
Andy.
easy.
Great to be here, buddy.
Good to see you, brother.
See ya.
I thought I caught my mistake on the 10-inch barrel.
Well, it really doesn't matter what caliber it is. 1,050 feet per second is 1,050 feet per second. So
Right.
308, 300 blackout, doesn't matter.
Like I said, a bullet doesn't know what cartridge got it to.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah, CW was trying to ring me back in, but I was just too far out there. I misread the question 3 different times in 3 different ways. So
I cut the darn
That's
thing
okay.
twice. It's still short.
guess I need to be wearing my glasses for this stuff. I'm reading the comments on my phone, and I'm talking to y'all on the laptop, and I don't know. It gets confusing. That, and I've been up since 4 o'clock this morning.
Yeah, Tommy Boy says bullet length, that plays a part too. You can take a bullet that won't stabilize in a said twist and push it harder if the cartridge will allow it. And
kick it in the butt, you'll might get it stabilized. Yep.
Yeah, that's right.
That is correct. I've seen me do it.
So, Miss Kitty says, is a bullet operating actually the euphemism for it getting fat? Hey, Mark Thomas.
Hello.
Actually,
Fill in the bore.
VK, I would call it becoming one with the barrel.
yeah, I refer to it as a mushroom. It's actually
Yeah, expanding.
Yeah, what he said. Yeah.
I like Jamie's visual.
Exactly. The whole
Yeah.
Donald
I
Trump
get
thing.
it. I get it though. I mean, I really get it. Yeah,
Kind of like my
I
tummy.
understand what he's. Yeah, I understand what he's
So-
saying.
basically the back starts moving before the front does.
Yep.
In my mind, I'm not sure that's the way it works.
That's a good analogy. I mean, that's what's happened.
Yeah, it seals the bore. Yeah.
It's got to.
Look, if anybody's ever made a tater gun, all right, a cut off lemon shoots a whole lot better and faster than an Irish potato because the tater's harder than the lemon, even though there's no rifling. You know,
The lemon will seal.
the lemon will seal. And take a guy off of one of those jet skis who happens to be swamping your boat. I've played with that 25 years ago.
It's less.
They run from flare guns as well.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm sorry, I was in an emergency and I was signaling. He just happened to be in the way.
Hey, Mark.
Oh,
What's up,
How was
buddy?
your week, brother?
real good. I mean, we're counting down these last couple days of summer before school starts back up, but we're still having fun and keeping busy. I did get myself a new rifle new to me to play with today.
What'd you get?
Savage Axis 30-06.
Yes.
It's a piece of cheap Bushnell glass on top, but it's fine. We're just gonna be able to play with it, something new.
Hey, if you want to lighten the trigger up on that thing, when you if you've never done it before, when you drop the trigger out of it, that thing's got a weird spring. It's all in one, but it's shaped like this. And if you cut one coil off of it, you can actually make a really nice, crisp, lighter, good hunting trigger, 3 pounds, out of it. If it's one of the ones that has a 10-pound trigger.
Well,
But-
didn't even get to try it out yet, but I'll find out.
Yeah.
Well, glad to be here. Sorry I'm a little bit late. We had a really nice dinner as a family out at one of our favorite places. So I'm nice and full of steak and mashed potatoes and crab cake, and
Oh,
Nice.
we'll make sure I try to stay awake.
yeah.
Tommy Boy's talking about a couple of new Hornady 224 Hornady bullets won't work in 223 5.56. They're designed to be so long they don't fit or have enough speed to be stable with 223 speed.
Yeah, that's a problem we're going to run into because all these newer cartridges coming out are
And it's not
Fast.
a heavy weight. It's a weight.
Yeah.
I think it's 63 grain. I think it's 62 or 63. So you'd think it would be fine, but it says right on the box. 'Cause I bought some as well.
Yeah, everybody comes out with these hybrid cartridges, and then all the manufacturers start building projectiles for the new stuff, and then they quit making stuff for the old stuff. Then the old stuff gets harder to find, the price goes up and all this stuff, and everybody's buying all this new stuff, trying to load for the old stuff, then realizing that it doesn't work.
That's not what it's made for.
It's a circle of life, I guess.
Well, yeah.
Ozzy says M Carbo has a trigger spring kit for Savage Axis.
Oh, there you go. No cutting required.
And James Pugh talking about his dad's got a 308 Axis and it shoots very well.
Well, we got stuff that 350 Legend Axis a year or two ago, and that one was a tack driver.
Those Savage Axis for the money, those and the Ruger Americans. Now the Ruger Americans are a little bit higher priced, but they shoot out of the box.
Yeah.
Well, I picked it up off the used rack. I looked at it. I looked at the price tag. I couldn't pass it.
That's hard to beat, ain't it?
Well, when you're under 2 Benjamins, that's
yes, sir.
That's okay.
Hell, you can't go wrong with that. I don't care what it is. You can adjust the scope to fit.
Yeah, you could get a real scope.
You could get one of these.
Dang it, boy.
I've got
I don't think Andy liked that.
Does that got parallax adjustment on that Rebel?
Yes, it does.
Yeah, you push the top toothpick down. It makes the crosshairs much clearer.
I've got a section right over there, scopes. I've got one of those Simmons Target things. I've got a Monstrum 4-12 that I haven't even taken out of the box yet. I got an Athlon Argos BTR S, I think. G 24 by 50, 6 to 24 by 50. That's a good scope. I need to put that on something.
Well, when y'all came down, y'all kind of changed my tune a little bit. You know, I'm a little bit of an optic snob, and I always say spend twice the money on an optic if you're doing a rifle. But some of the stuff y'all brought down here, the Monstrums, the Athlons, this and that, for a young man who was building his first PRS, really accurate hunting rifle, and he just didn't have the money to put into a Leupold or a Night Force or a high-end Vortex. We proved that Jamie's scope tracked from 100 to 300 back to 100, and it tracked just fine. And I can't say anything bad about it.
It's all about playing with them, and you'll know when you get a hold of something quality. You can tell.
Well, and the first thing I do is click it. And if the clicks are mushy, well, I'm pretty much done. The clicks on that scope were not mushy,
right?
And they was positive, and I was pleased.
My problem with my scope, if I'm in a hunting situation and I need to put any dope in on the turrets, I'm scared that whatever I'm hunting is going to hear them because they're so crystal clear.
Yeah.
I want to put cotton balls in the turrets or something to absorb the sound. I mean, it sounds like you're tweaking on a torque wrench or something.
Right.
You know, that's why so many hunting scopes come with bullet drop reticles. You ain't got time for that in the deer woods. You just
know.
And they're the typical $100 to $200 hunting scope has those turrets are sealed on there, so you don't have any option. So
Yeah, you zeroed at 100, and then you Kentucky windage it from there.
Glenn Davis asked, "What's a good scope for a pistol that doesn't cost a lot?" Well,
Burris.
isn't that just the question of the day?
Ricky and I have bought some cheap ones and tried to make them work, and just normally doesn't work. You're better off buying an older, used, quality scope.
You know, do you like the Burris's, CW?
I do.
Or have you found? Yeah.
Like the old Burris's, the old Redfields, and the
Yeah.
Leopolds. They're
The Leopolds are awesome. Yeah.
you're gonna spend a couple $100, $180, $220, but
The used Leopolds are still too high to me.
you're gonna get a scope that's gonna work for you. It's not gonna be a problem.
You just keep an eye on eBay for Burris's, and you'll find one day.
$1.50, $1.60 sometimes. Depends on the
Yeah.
power. You know, if you're happy with a 2 power, 3 power, you're gonna find it for that price. If you gotta have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 power, you're gonna spend.
I've
What
got
do
an
the
old
dogs think?
Pasco on one of mine. It's been holding up for years.
Oh, we got active puppy dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're going crazy in there. I would go in there and shut them up, but
I definitely want to encourage anybody out there in the side chat that's just getting into reloading not to let us, anything we say, intimidate you. You know, put a load together that's safe, shoot it. If it's accurate, go for it. Once you kill your first critter with it, if you want to get into longer range stuff, well, then you can get into ES and FD and all that crap. And it really don't play a part in the hunting. Not that much. Not normal. Let's see. CW lives in Connecticut. It took him 9.5 hours to get down here. I live in North Carolina. Jamie lives in Georgia. And all of us pretty much have the longest shot we can make is probably under normal conditions is 200 yards. So unless I'm hunting a power line or a soybean field, that's it.
Yep.
You want something that hits hard, makes 2 holes, and accurate enough to put shot placement where you need it.
because you can't miss them fast enough to kill them.
Ain't that the truth? And there is no degree of dead. So I tell people all the time, there was a boy come in there the other day. He said he was going to start hunting whitetail around here with a 338 Win Mag because they just keep getting away from him. I said, son, they're going to get away from you with a 338 Win Mag. He said, what do you mean? I said, you can blow both the front legs off. They travel hundreds of yards. I said, if you can't shoot, you can't shoot. I said, maybe you ought to try something a little smaller, less recoil, shoot it better.
Yeah, shot placement.
Well, Chad told him the story about shooting a deer out of his daddy's garden with a 222 with a 52 grain match king. And he said, well, the deer's going to run off and die. He said, so I'm just going to put it right behind the shoulder. Deer's going to run off and die, and I don't have to worry about it stinking here. He shot it. It ran 20 yards, dropped over.
Yep.
They had to drag the deer off. I mean,
I killed a 6-pointer with a 22 Magnum.
Yes, sir. 22 Magnums kill more deer than blue tongue.
It's all about shot placement.
Yep.
And I shoot them with air rifles. It's all about shot placement.
There you go.
And with premium optics like such, you can really dial it in.
Like such. That's what you need to put on the side of that thing, Mike. Is like such.
Yeah, like such.
3 to 10. No, make it 4 by 28. Yeah, that's what.
Well, 3 to 10 means it's 10 inches from my eye and 3 inches long.
Dang, Vanessa, I hate you can't drive no more, honey.
Yeah.
So yeah, Ozzy says longest shot he's taken a deer hunting was 75 yards, and he's on the wall. So
Ozzy won.
And we've done deprivation hunts here, and I've shot deer from long distance, but you got to be careful. A deer can move quite a bit in 500 yards when that bullet's traveling.
Oh yeah.
yeah, a lot of times people don't take into account when they're taking these shots. They don't take into account how long that bullet's actually in the air before it hits the target.
Yep.
At 1,000 yards, it's over 3 seconds.
Yep.
And I'm interested in Mama Dad down there getting this 300 PRC going. I'm seriously interested in the 6.5 PRC.
Oh, there's something else. I know it's a newfangled cartridge, but a lot of guys are shooting them. That 7mm PRC's pretty awesome too.
Just a new 7 mag.
Well, I mean, the thing about it is, when you go for these bougie cartridges, you're going to go all in on one, and next week they're going to come out with another one.
Well, I think
worlds, or all 3 worlds, or all 5 worlds, or whatever. Just stick with what works.
I think they've run the gamut. So you take the 7mm PRC, you've got the 28 nozzler, and CW helped me out. What was the other?
The new backcountry.
Well, yeah, I forgot about that one. I didn't include that one because it's a proprietary case. I really don't want to stick my head behind something that's only the cases, only the cases holding back that much pressure. But there was another Magnum that came out right around the nozzler that kind of fell by the wayside.
7mm shooting times Westerner.
No, the STW's older than that.
That's a big one.
That's just an 8mm Mauser neck down. That's a crowd pleaser.
8mm rim mag.
Yeah. That's what I meant. 8mm rim mag.
7mm Lazzaroni. That's a pretty big one. War
that's
Dog,
an older one.
Like that, yeah.
But the point being is, they've all been there. But that
short magnum too,
the 7mm, the 7mm Remington Magnum. If you built the gun and put a faster twist in it and throated it the right way, you'd have a PRC. I mean, there you go. You know.
Okay, it's time for our verse of the week. Y'all ready?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, we're up to the 4th commandment. Exodus chapter 20, verse 8, 9, 10, and 11. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days you shall labor and do all your work. But the 7th day is the Sabbath of the Lord your God. In it you shall do no work. You, nor your son, nor your daughter, nor your male servant, nor your female servant, nor your cattle, nor your stranger who is within your gates. For in 6 days the Lord made the heavens and the earth, the sea, and all that is in them, and rested the seventh day. Therefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it. So, Reverend Guzik, Dr. Guzik says the command is to respect the seventh day, which is Saturday, as a day of rest. You shall do no work. The rest was for all of Israel, for the son and the servant and the stranger. This is an important principle that might be too easily passed over. Here, God declared the essential humanity and dignity of women, slaves, and strangers, and said that they had the same right to a day of rest as a free Israeli man. This was certainly a radical concept in the ancient world. That phrase there, keep it holy, God commanded Israel and all humanity to make sure that there was a sacred time in their life, a separated time of rest. Let's look at John MacArthur's notes there. It says, each seventh day belonged to the Lord and would not be a work day, but one set apart, i.e. holy, for rest and for time devoted to the worship of Yahweh. The term Sabbath is derived from to rest or cease from work. The historical precedent for such a special observance was the creation week, a span of time equal to what men copied and practiced. Each Sabbath day should have reminded the worshiper that God, whom he praised, had indeed made everything in both realms of existence in 6 24-hour days. The Sabbath would also stand, therefore, as a counter to evolutionary ideas prevalent in false religion. Moses, in the review of the Decalogue, also linked the observance of the Sabbath with Israel's exodus from Egypt, and specified that this was why Israel was to keep it. And that's in Deuteronomy 5:12-15. Significantly, the command for the Sabbath is not repeated in the New Testament, whereas the other 9 are. In fact, it is nullified. Colossians 2:16 and 17. Belonging especially to Israel under the Mosaic economy, the Sabbath could not apply to the believer of the church age, for he is living in a new economy. For in 6 days God established the pattern for the Sabbath at the time of creation. When he rested from his work on the seventh day, God made the seventh day a day of rest from all of our works. It's as if God said having too much to do isn't an excuse for not taking your rest, not taking the rest you need. I created the universe and found time to rest from my work.
Yeah.
Dr. Guzik quotes Kaiser there, Kaiser, says the term Sabbath is derived from the Hebrew verb to rest from work, which is the exact same thing that John MacArthur said. The most important purpose of the Sabbath was to serve as a preview for the rest that we have in Christ Jesus. The rest we enter into as Christians is something to experience every day, not just one day a week. The rest of knowing we don't have to work to save ourselves, but our salvation is accomplished in Jesus. He is our rest. When we remember his finished work, we remember the Sabbath. And we remember we remember the rest.
Mm-hmm.
Remember to rest. So that's what I got for the verse of the week. Questions or comments?
That's pretty much the way I've always looked at that particular one. It's God's telling us, hey, look at what my to-do list looked like last week, and look what I got done. And I took a break and took the time to stand back and reflect. Surely your agenda is not going to suffer if you'll take that one day off and do the same thing. Stand back and not just reflect on your own work, but take the rest and look at what has been created for you. Take a look at what I've got done for you folks on these first 6 days. There's a lot there. Take time, take a look while you're resting and respect, what has been done for you. I think is kind of the way I read it.
And then you remember the Pharisees were going after Jesus for healing a man on the Sabbath.
Right.
And his response is, if like your sheep falls in a hole, would you not rescue it on the Sabbath? Basically saying it's okay to help someone on the Sabbath, but to respect the day and rest is kind of what I always understood.
Yeah, to Hillbilly's point, I think God smiles on a farmer anyway. He has to. But I had an old farmer. I've heard several old farmers say the Lord created the universe and all the heavens in 6 days. And a preacher asked him why he was working on the Sabbath. He said, I ain't the Lord. It's just as simple as that. I ain't the Lord. You got to make hay when the sun's shining. And I'll take my rest another. But yeah, to Hillbilly's point, honor the day. Honor the day.
It has two significant things there. It's a rest for your body because you need it, and it's a rest from your work to spend in worship to the Lord, which your body also needs.
Mm-hmm.
So it's God giving us what we need. We need rest for the body, and we need to fill
rest
up
for
our
the soul.
Yep. And I love this comment by Walks here. He says, when I was very young, the grandmothers used to cook enough food on Friday night to be eaten cold on Saturday, the Sabbath. That takes me all the way back to the manna when the children of Israel were in the midst of the Exodus from Egypt, when he would bring the manna down, and he told them, just take enough for the day, except on Friday, then you take enough for 2 days. Well, they would take up a whole gob of it because they wouldn't do what God told them, and it turned to worms in the bowl.
Go bad.
Yeah. And then, but when they gathered it up on Friday and they needed it for the Sabbath, guess what? It didn't rot. So I think that. Thanks, Walks. That reminded me of that, and I just had to say that. But
so now that most of us go to church and rest on Sundays, do you got anything to say on that instead of being on a Saturday?
I do. My grandmother was a devout Christian, but her Sabbath was Saturday. There's still a lot of denominations in Christianity that still observe Saturday as the Sabbath, and there's nothing wrong with that. And James Pugh makes a comment about he has to work on Sunday a lot of the times. The day of the week don't matter, guys. We celebrate as Christians the Sabbath on Sunday because that's the day that the Lord rose from the grave. That's Resurrection Day. And that's the reason our Sabbath is on Sunday. But the main thing is that it don't matter what days you have off. Spend that day in rest for your body and in worship for your soul. That's the most important thing. Remember, John MacArthur said we live in a new economy. You know, not that Jesus said never would he abolish the law, he fulfilled the law. So we live in a new covenant through his blood. Does that wash away the things that the Jewish folks still do? Absolutely not. No. We worship
my daughter and her husband are Seventh-day Adventists, and I really didn't know what that meant. I'd known a couple, but I really never asked them about their practice. But you know, this is my daughter, and I'm getting to know her. I met her as an adult, and my son, I asked him in a private moment. I said, "What's the Seventh-day Adventists? What they're all about?" He said, "Dad, they're just kosher. They're kosher Baptists." Okay. I went, "Oh, okay." And they pretty much they don't eat pork.
Yeah,
I have to stop myself all the time. I was getting ready to. I was like, "Sadie, honey, if y'all want to come over here, I'll make a dadgum big old breakfast for you." She was like, "I'll have to bring the sausage." Like, what? We got beef sausage. I said, "Oh, remind me, because I'll throw a chunk of hog knuckle in a pot of beans in a heartbeat." You know, so she's got to remind me of stuff like that.
We had 2 exchange students at one time, and for their religious beliefs, one couldn't eat pork, another one couldn't eat beef. There's a lot of chicken ate.
Holy crap! I ain't never heard of not eating beef. Really?
Yeah, they worship cows in certain parts.
Oh. Yeah. Okay, got you.
That's not in the Bible.
That's not a Christian thing.
No. This is different religions.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
We got to watch that at work too, because we bring in sausage or something, and we got to tell them, no, that's got pork in it.
Bama Dad says, think about when the preachers take a day of rest. Trust me, it ain't on Sunday.
No.
See, we like to think of preachers. Yeah, you work 2 days a week. That's back when they actually had a Wednesday night.
Wednesday and Sundays, yeah.
No, a preacher is working on his sermons. What you hear in 30 to 45 minutes or whatever.
Took all week.
It may have took 2 or 3 weeks on and off to write that sermon.
Do a lot of services not have churches not have services on Wednesday nights now?
Oh yeah,
we've always have.
We do. Well, our church does. I don't go on Wednesday nights, but we don't have a Sunday night service anymore.
Some of the old school Methodists still have service on Wednesday night.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Now, where my wife's from, some of those non-denominational churches, I don't think they have service on Wednesday night because they all got bit by the rattlesnakes on Sunday. Trust me, dude, she had a church like that right above her house. You could hear them hollering from, I was like, oh, Lord, the rattlesnakes is hot today. You know, so you hear them hollering. I'm not into that.
Thank you from over here.
Yeah, need to look up Wendy Bagwell, the rattlesnake song.
No, thank you.
It's not a song. It's a comedy story.
Oh, is it? Okay.
There was a little country church on the way to my house, from my parents' house. This is 25 years ago. And my dad would always show up to the house and he goes, well, why don't you just take the second right past the rattlesnake church over here? I'm like, rattlesnake?
Yeah.
you talking about? He said, that looks like a rattlesnake church to me. It's a small building, and they got 4 outbuildings outside. That's where they keep snakes.
Yeah.
I was like,
And I will honestly say that I have been to a Southern all black service, and me and my brother were the only white kids in there. And it was when my dad was teaching governor's school. He had to go back. Him and Mom had to go back for an emergency with my grandparents. And this black family we made friends with, he had a son about my age. And the mama, she was the matriarch. And she said, well, y'all can stay the weekend with me, but you're going to go to church on Sunday. We said, that's fine. So Mom left us some church clothes. White people don't know how to worship. Sunday, we started at 11 o'clock. At 2 p.m., my belly was full just leaving the church grounds. And it was a half-day thing. It really was. And it wasn't homecoming. It was just a day. It was just a normal day. I couldn't believe it. But I've never heard such beautiful singing in my whole life.
I know that's right.
and they get into it.
We got to start
big time.
We got to start going through the room and clear the deck for. Let's talk about bench rest with the Fire and the American Hillbilly.
Yeah, they're actually on the road tonight. They're going to do their show remote. Him, Chad, and Justin. They're shooting with the Hyde. They took a trip and shooting with a get together he had. So
Hasbro,
Hasbro, Chad, and Justin.
all right, that'd be good. So why don't you go first, and that way you can slip out whenever you need to.
Okay. All right. Yeah, because I don't know what kind of internet them boys have down there. So hopefully they got good enough connection. Man, thanks a lot. Just been shooting a little bench rest 22, trying some different ammo and everything. JD Delta has blessed me with some boxes of, 5 different single boxes of Gucci 22 ammo that I can't get around here. And so we shot that. That video came out yesterday. And so anyway, got, a few more bench rest videos coming out. But anyway, we got Guns, Beer, and Therapy Saturday night, 9 o'clock Central, 10 o'clock Eastern. If you ain't doing nothing, please swing by and visit us. And I'll go ahead and post up Chad's show in the side chat. Thank you so much for being here. Love all of you and the panel, side chat. You guys are just awesome. Great show. Thank you, Jamie.
Well, thank you for being here, brother. And
Good night, Mike.
See you, Hillbilly.
we won't run you
Good
off.
night.
Buddy.
Night, Mike.
Night, brother.
All right, Mark, you want to go next? Mark Thomas?
Okay, I was going to say, which one of us?
Yeah, I know.
Sure, I can. Yeah, thanks for having me. Sorry I was a little bit late, but got in there just about in time. As far as what I've got coming up, got a new rifle to play with, and I did get a box of ammo so I can empty it out and tinker around a little bit with a couple of bullets I have. So we'll see what comes of that. And, just getting ready to get back to school and get back into the swing of things. So it's been a great evening, good chat. Thanks, everybody in the side chat. So move it on to the next mark.
I don't have a whole lot of anything going on this week that I want to talk about, but yeah, there's some things coming up. Be doing a little bit of 223 reloading. I won't have a whole lot of time for much of anything this week, so I don't have anything spectacular to say.
Well, you've been quiet, but we appreciate you being here, brother.
Thanks for having me.
You know it. Mr. Kyle, what you got coming up next week?
Well, hopefully I can get around to shooting some of these. I managed to shove a brick of primers into a bunch of brass on my 2 days off, in addition to canning about 25 pounds of potatoes. So I've been busy for the last 2 days. I was looking forward to going back to work because it seemed like a lot less stress. But yeah, I've got rid of a brick of primers, 9mm. Maybe next week we'll try to do the same with 40 cal. Lord knows they won't let me make any videos about it. Hopefully by the end of tomorrow, I'll have air conditioning in my mother-in-law's car because she's shuttling grandkids around for school and all that stuff. And I feel for everybody that's going through all the back-to-school crunch and all that, because you can tell it's different. We started this week in this area, and you see people you hadn't seen in a minute, and you don't see the people that you're used to seeing every day. So, everybody's schedule's changing, and I thanks everybody in the side chat, and I'm so sorry that I misread that question 4 times. But anyway, it was good to be here. I'm sorry I was late, but better late than never, right?
Absolutely. Yep. Thank you for being here, Kyle.
All right, Six, what you got, brother?
Oh, we're going to be testing out the moderator. Got that built this week with my air gun. We're going to a gun show tomorrow. She's not going to be able to shoot tomorrow at Cowboy Max, so we're just going to go to what they say is the largest gun show in Texas, which is Florida. It started today. It's in Bryan, Texas. It's about an hour from me. We're going to go to that tomorrow. And Sunday, mow grass. Maybe test out this moderator. I got the baffles 3D printing right now. We'll test that out maybe. Other than that, that's about it for me.
Good, man. Thanks for being here. I hope you're going to make a video on that moderator thing.
Oh, I probably will.
Good deal. Mr. Walter, what you got coming up, bro?
Well, we got some things going on here. Appreciate being here for sure, especially since I had to miss last week. So it's always good, as you guys know, I feel like family here, and always fun to see the folks over here in the side chat and chat it up with you guys over there. You're what makes the show alive. And we wouldn't be much without y'all. So I got a couple of things happening here. We got range day coming up on Monday. I thought I was done with casting, loading, and shooting wad cutters. I thought I had them all, and it turns out I didn't. I bought 2 more molds this last week. I found a Hensley and Gibbs number 61 that I didn't know anything about. It's another one for 38 special that looks promising. It's a very uncommon one. And then I bought one from Night Owl Enterprises, NOE, that great big fat 45 Colt long shot that I'm gonna call it. It's a huge 270 grain wad cutter for 45 Colt. So we're gonna try to get those shot on Monday. That's gonna be a fun day at the range, and we'll have a Moldy Monday coming up on Monday on the Rumble channel, and we'll have wad cutter Wednesday on both Rumble and YouTube on Wednesday. So, and then plus we got fire watch here going on. There's aircraft filling the sky. It's just shadow after shadow coming over my house. There's 2 C-130s, 3 or 4 BAE jets. There's an MD-87. We've got an Avro or 2. We got a couple Sikorsky choppers. What else we got there? 2 C-130s. There's a what else did I see coming in here? A de Havilland -8. You don't see those too often, but anyway, lots of noise going on overhead in the daytime hours here. Plus, we got a rocket launch coming up tomorrow as well. So it's going to be a noisy day in the woods here. But that's what's happening here at Casa de Viejo in the upcoming days. So, Mr. Rebel, what's happening your way this week?
Well, like I said, I think in the first of this, I'm working up a 308 load for a new rifle, and that's about it. Trying to nurse this bad knee and fish a little bit at the same time on our local reservoirs, because our mountain creeks are blown out from Helene. There's still a lot of damage and still a lot of need there. I know there's need all over the world, guys, but that's the closest need to me, and that generally tends to be the most important thing that human beings look at. What's the closest to me? And there's a lot of mountain folks still suffering in North Carolina, and I'm sure in other places in the Appalachians. But I'm trying to not to make light of that. Since Kyle liked this so much, I'm going to start selling these for $19.99. And if you get two of them, you can get two of them for $30. A guaranteed accuracy. And I'll even include a roll of electrical tape to mount it on your gun with.
Up to minute the groundhog.
I know how you can double your accuracy. Put another set on the other end. Then you can line it up.
What you do is you double your accuracy, use a towel tube, so it's longer. You know, you got a longer hourly. There you go. But I had to make that to kid Andy. I don't think he liked it too much, but it's that's my sense of humor, and I'm sticking with it. But enjoyed the verse of the week. Thanks for all the people in the side chat. You're what makes this special, and like BAO said, it's like family here. So I appreciate everything. CW, what you got?
Well, I got a couple of videos coming up. I got a couple of videos in the queue. I got to get back to the range. I got a couple things started, and stay tuned. There'll be some good stuff coming. I got a couple irons in the fire, so I got a couple of things to finish and wrap up. So having a lot of fun with that 458. I got the 400 projectiles to shoot, and I got a couple of tests in mind for a couple other things. So we'll see what we get. Jamie.
Very cool. So, with that, we'll say, the Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face shine upon you. Let me try that again. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace. We hope the Lord blesses y'all all real good. And if he's willing, we'll see y'all next Friday night at 8 o'clock. Say good night.